Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your guy Bendu. So the mainstream media is still losing their collective shit over President Trump outlefting the whole Democratic Party, including Bernie Sanders and the rest of the progressives, by demanding $2,000 checks. Shit, ask Amy Clownbachar and she'll tell you Trump demanding more money for struggling Americans is somehow an attack on them.
Senator, let me also ask you about the other breaking news story that we are following tonight, which is that the president is threatening to veto the COVID relief bill. It took 9 months to get this bill for all of its shortcomings and all of its failures. It's the only help the American people have had against the devastation of COVID for 9 months. And now he's saying that he's going to veto it. There is some nuance to it, with him saying that he wants a larger size payment to the American people, which is something that Democrats argued for at every step of the process. And now House Democrats say, okay, well, if that's what he wants, we'll provide him with that. I wonder just what you make of this very last minute scramble of what we thought was going to proceed here with this relief bill.
I kept thinking tonight, well, these pardons are an attack on our very democracy. This is an attack on every American.
And if you ask former Obama economy advisor Larry Summers, he'll give you his best Rand Paul austerity rendition.
Off with stimulus than we are without stimulus. I don't think the $2,000 checks make much sense. The real issue is going to be sustaining this expansion. You think about it, the 908 stimulus bill probably would pay out $200 to $250 billion a month for the next 3 months. The level of compensation is running about $30 billion a month below what we would have expected it would. GDP is running about $70 billion a month below what we would have expected it would. So in a way that's quite unprecedented, we have stimulus already much more than filling out the hole. And given that lots of the hole is from the fact not that people don't want to spend, but that they can't spend because they can't take a flight or they can't go to a restaurant, I don't necessarily think that the priority should be on promoting consumer spending beyond where we are now. So I'm not even sure that I'm so enthusiastic about the $600 checks. And I think taking them to $2,000 would actually be a pretty serious mistake that would risk a temporary overheat.
Well, this being considered conventional wisdom within the Democratic Party, and of course, all in the spirit of reaching across the aisle, you know, you can't escape DC without bipartisanship. It's no surprise finding out that prior to Donald Trump breaking the austerity ranks in DC, that Joe Biden himself came down out of his dementia-fueled slumber and had a huge part in the COVID relief bill negotiations. And he even, quote, gave Democrats confidence in lowering their demands, which basically means he gave the Democrats his blessing in fucking the American people over, which is no surprise if you know Joe's political record. The funniest part to me, though, is watching this article give Joe Biden a neoliberal tongue bath, praising him for continuing the Clinton and Obama doctrine of constantly and on purpose caving into Republicans' austere demands and shifting the party further right, only to have Trump throw it right back in their fucking faces by doing the common sense thing of helping the American people during a pandemic and economic depression. Now, he's doing it for disingenuous reasons, of course, and me saying that is due to the fact that his people, like Steve Mnuchin, was involved in the crafting of this bill, and a report also came out that Trump wanted to demand the $2,000 checks during negotiations, but was advised against doing so by those around him. And it was like out of fear that he would like blow up talks. But it's like, dude, if they're like offering something that you don't like, then you're the fucking president of the United States. Say something. Like, it's better than coming along later like, oh my God, I didn't know about this, so I'm going to veto it now. Like, fuck out of here, bro. You miss me with all that bullshit. But so it comes off as if Trump is trying to slight Biden, but as we all know, old Donnie Boy didn't have the balls to stand up to Mitch Turtleboy McConnell. He got bitched by him again. But bottom line is, I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump's reasoning. I don't care about his ego, you know, how he's trying to get his followers to, you know, get on his dick and just ride it like they have been. But, you know, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is the American people struggling, getting the help and that a little bit of extra help that they need. And now they more than likely aren't getting it. And you have people like AOC that's gaslighting as if she didn't vote for the relief bill in its original form and as if she fought hard for more when she didn't. Like, literally the only reason why we're getting $600 is because of Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley. Let's be quite frank. And for my final point, I like to say the media is covering the events like just so insidiously because on face value, you know, it comes off as the typical mainstream media's Trump derangement syndrome coverage. But to me, you need to read a little deeper because it's as if they're upset with Trump suggesting and basically like gesturing and shit, you know, shit like that. Like not even outright saying it like Bernie Sanders does, but suggesting Americans deserve more, even in the slightest, because it contradicts the neoliberal doctrine, which is the same as the Republican doctrine, which is more austerity for everyone. Like the $2,000 stimulus checks would have made up only $164 billion of the overall $2 trillion package. They're literally arguing over how much of the crumbs we should get. Like we're literally getting the crumbs of the crumbs of the crumbs. Like the roaches got their, like the roaches meaning the fucking lobbyists in Washington, D.C., like the bottom of the rung already got their shit and then it's us. So yeah. And what's worse is that Donald Trump is the voice of reason in all of this, which means we're fucked. So yeah, just watching all this shit play out, man, it's so ridiculous, dog. And then reading more about Joe Biden and his influence on the party, it's just ridiculous. This is exactly what I feared. This is exactly what I knew was going to happen with Joe Biden. Like literally Joe Biden negotiated his way into fucking the American people over. And as you know, it's not by accident because as you know, the article, and I would suggest checking out this New York Times article that came out about it. I'll link it in the, description below, but literally you can tell this was like a praise piece of Joe Biden for his bipartisanship. And it's like, this is the problem. This is the problem. You know, Democrats always go in basically negotiating from a standpoint of giving Republicans everything they want. Now you have some political commentators that talk about it as if it's like, you know, they're just weak. It's like, no, they're not just weak. They're corrupt. They want the same things the Republicans want, which is more goodies to their fucking donors and less for the American people to keep us down, basically to keep us down. They don't, you know, they don't want you to be free enough during the economic depression to go out and say, you know what, I quit my job. I'm going to go, you know, do a strike or a protest. You know, they don't give you health care for those same reasons. Like, you know, it's crazy. I was watching a couple of videos online. And it's like, it's crazy how like a lot of people in Europe, they cite the fact that Americans not having healthcare is why we're, you know, so docile to striking. Because over there in France and Europe and all that shit, they'll do that shit in a heartbeat. And it's like, you know, I feel like healthcare is one of the reasons why, because they have it over there. You know, they have universal healthcare. And you got people that bring up the fact, well, you know, if you let the government take over healthcare, then like they'll just take it away. And it's like, bro, like first things first. Medicare for all example, which is what people are advocating for, is not government run healthcare. It's literally single payer healthcare, which is basically, you know, everybody collectively putting in and the government becomes the single payer. So everybody putting in through their taxes and the government becoming the single payer. So it eliminates premiums, it eliminates copays, it eliminates all that shit because you already, it's covered with your taxes. You're good. You don't have to worry about shit. And you can still go to private institutions. It's very similar to what Canada does and France as well. So, yeah, so it's like, you know, this is just, you're going to see more of this shit. You're going to see more of this caving in because this is honestly Joe Biden's, like, this has Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer written all the fuck over it. Like, hey, we're going to negotiate and we're going to, you know, pretend like we're giving the Republicans a hard time and, you know, we're really not. And then they have people like AOC go out here and run cover for them by only attacking Republicans, but not attacking the leadership for the bill that they negotiated. So, and again, like I said, AOC's out here gaslighting again. The only two people that voted against this bill were fucking Tulsi Gabbard and Rashida Tlaib. Those were the only two within the Democratic Party that did. And they give Tulsi shit all the time. And, you know, Tulsi has her fuck ups. You know, she had her fuck up with the Joe Biden shit and everything by endorsing Joe Biden. But for the most part, Tulsi has been on the right side of these, you know, of these arguments and these fights. whereas the squad always hasn't been. Like Rashida Tlaib always hasn't been. Rashida Tlaib, instead of fighting for the 2K previously, Rashida Tlaib is introducing bills that fucks over people that use cryptocurrency that have no banking, and they use cryptocurrency because they're restricted from banking due to their, address, area code, whatever. So she's fucking over the pockets of poor black people and brown people that she claims she cares about, and then waits till the last minute to fight for them. So it's like, it's disgusting all the way around. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop rambling, close it out there. As always, hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and share as well. Also wanted to let you guys know again that I will. Right now, I'm 85% sure I will be out in DC Inauguration Day. I'm trying to figure out what they're actually going to be doing for inauguration. If there's actually going to be, an inauguration, and not like some bullshit virtual, inauguration. But 85% sure I will be in DC. So I'm gonna be looking for y'all there. Y'all look for me there, and Matt Nelson's gonna be there with me. So it's gonna be cool. Chill out and rock with you guys. So more content coming soon. Coming soon. So stay tuned. Son, stay tuned. And thanks for tuning in. Peace. Be easy.